Okay, if you are in 7 Excel, we are working from the Advanced 2 textbook. If you are in Math 8, we are working from the Course 3 textbook. We are doing 5.1, 5.2 quiz review, and it can be found on page 215. Okay. So here is the quiz. So let's take a look at numbers 1 through 3. Match the system of linear equations with the corresponding graph. Use the graph to estimate the solution. Check your solution. Okay. So what are the things that we need to know to solve questions 1 through 3? Well, some of the things that I think we need to remember. Y equals mx plus b. M is our slope. B is our y-intercept. And the y-intercept is when x is set to 0, what is the y? I think some of the things we also need to remember about slope. If it's going up, it is positive. If it's going down, it's negative. And we also remember that slope is rise over run. So we go up or down, and then we go left or right. So let's talk about how to solve one of these problems. So here's the equation, y equals x minus 2. My y-intercept is -2. So I need to find one of these graphs that has a line with a y-intercept of -2. So here's my y-axis. Here I have a line that crosses at -2, okay? Here's my y-axis, and here I have a line that crosses at -2. Here's my y-axis, and neither of the lines cross at -2. So we can eliminate this graph. Okay, back to this equation. My slope is positive, so that means it's going to go up, and it looks like it's 1 to 1. So if I'm here, I'm going to go up 1 over 1. Oh, that doesn't look like it lines up. Nope, that doesn't look like it lines up. So here, up 1 over 1, okay? Up 1 over 1, perfect. This line matches this equation, okay? So now let's check the second one just to confirm, just to make sure. My y-intercept is +1. My y-intercept is +1. My slope is negative. That means it's going down. And we're going to go down 2 over 1. Down 2 over 1. Down 2 over 1. Okay, this line matches this equation. So graph B corresponds to problem 1. So that's how you're going to do numbers 1 through 3. Okay, now let's take a look at 4 through 6. Solve the system of linear equations by graphing. So we're going to do number 6 together, okay? So let's take a look at number 6. So they give us 4x plus y, 4x plus 2y, sorry. 4x plus 2y equals 2, and 3x equals 4 minus y. Okay, to solve this system by graphing, each of these equations needs to be in slope-intercept form. y equals mx plus b. So we need to rearrange this equation so that it is in slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b. So let's rearrange this equation. Y equals mx plus b. So I want to isolate my y. I need to get rid of this 4x. So I'm going to subtract 4x from here. What I do to one side, I must do to the other. So 2y equals negative 4x plus 2, but I still need to isolate my variable. So I want to get rid of this times 2. I'm going to divide by 2. What I do to one side, I do to the other. I need to divide each of these terms by 2. So y equals negative 2x plus 1. So here's my first equation in slope-intercept form. Now we need to convert this second equation into slope-intercept form. 3x equals 4 minus y. I need it to look like y equals mx plus b. So what can I do? Well, let's get rid of this 4. I'm going to subtract 4 here. What I do to one side, I must do to the other. So I now have 3x minus 4 equals negative y. Okay, so we're getting there. I want y to be by itself. I need to get rid of this negative 1. So I'm going to multiply this whole equation by negative 1. So negative 1 times 3x is negative 3x. Negative 1 times negative 4 is positive 4. And negative 1 times negative y is positive y. Okay? All I'm going to do is I'm going to take my equal sign and bring it over here. That's all I need to do. Y equals negative 3x plus 4. So both of my equations are now in slope-intercept form. Now I can graph these equations. So here, my y-intercept is positive 1. My slope is negative. It's going to go down. And it's going to go down 2 and over 1. Down 2 over 1. Down 2 over 1. Down 2 over 1. And just for good measure, I like to go the other direction. Just a couple of points. Just for good measure. So this line matches this equation. Now we need to graph this equation. So my y-intercept is positive 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. My slope is still negative. It's going to go down, and it's going to go down 3 over 1. Down 3 over 1. Okay, down 3 over 1, down 3 over 1, down 3 over 1, down 3 over 1. So here we go. And it looks like my lines intersect right here. And that point looks like it's 1, 2, 3. 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, negative 5. So it looks like my solution is 3, negative 5. So when we solve a system of equations by graphing, we need to make sure that each equation is in slope-intercept form. So you may need to rework the equations so that they are in slope-intercept form. Then you can solve by graphing, and where the two lines intersect, that is the solution. So you guys have 4 and 5 to do. We did 6 together. So now let's take a look at 7, 8, and 9. Solve the system of linear equations by substitution. Check your solution. So we're going to do number 9 together. We're going to do number 9 together. Okay, number 9. X minus 5y equals 1, and negative 2x plus 9y equals negative 1. So what we need to do for one of these, we need to isolate the variable. We need to isolate a variable. And in my opinion, I think this equation right here is going to be the easiest to isolate because x, there's no coefficient to x. So I think this is going to be the easiest one to isolate. So let's pick this equation. X minus 5y equals 1. We want to isolate this variable. So I'm going to add 5y here. What I do to one side, I must do to the other. X equals 5y plus 1. Okay, now my variable is isolated. X is equal to 5y plus 1. Yay! So I'm going to take this equation, minus 2x plus 9y equals negative 1, and I am going to substitute this for x. Okay, so now I have negative 2 times 5y plus 1 plus 9y equals negative 1. We're going to use the distributive property. Negative 2 times 5y is negative 10y. Negative 2 times 1 is negative 2. Plus 9y equals negative 1. I need to combine my like terms. I want to combine my like terms. So negative 10y plus 9y is negative 1y minus 2 equals negative 1. I want to isolate my variable. So let's get rid of this negative 2. I'm going to add 2. What I do to one side, I must do to the other. And I've got negative 1y equals 1. I need to isolate this variable. I want to get rid of that negative sign. So I'm going to divide by negative 1. What I do to one side, I must do to the other. Y equals negative 1. Yay! Oh, but I'm only half done. I'm going to come back up here to my original equations. Which one looks like it's going to be the easiest to work with? I think, in my opinion, this is going to be the easiest to work with. I don't know why. I think because maybe the numbers are smaller, it's more appealing. Now, I am going to substitute my y into my y right there. So x minus 5 times negative 1 equals 1. X, negative 5 times negative 1 is positive 5 equals 1. I want to isolate my variable. So I'm going to subtract 5. What I do to one side, I must do to the other. X equals negative 4. And we know that a solution is always xy. My x is -4, my y is -1. Boom. There's my solution. So we did number 9 together. I think that was probably the hardest one. You have 7 and 8 left to do. Now we have 4 word problems. I'm going to help you set up 10 and 12, and then you need to work on 11 and 13. So we're going to set up 10 and 12 together. So let's go. Here we go. We're going to work on 10 and 12 together. We're going to set them up. You're going to solve them, but I am going to help you set them up. Okay, so let's take a look at number 10 first. We're going to do number 10 first. Members of a movie rental club pay a $15 annual membership fee and $2 for each new release movies. Non-members pay $3 for new release movies. Write a system of linear equations that represents this situation. And then, when is it beneficial to have a membership? So let's set up the system of linear equations. So first, members, they pay a $15 annual fee and then $2 per movie. So for members, they pay $2 per movie plus a $15 annual membership fee. Non-members only pay $3 per movie. They do not pay the membership fee. So you guys need to solve this system of equations. And at what point, at what number movie rental is it cheaper to have the membership than it is to pay $3 per movie? So what they're asking you is, when is it beneficial to have a membership? At what number movie rental is it more expensive to pay $3 per movie? Or at what number movie rental is it cheaper to pay the $15 and $2 per movie? So at what point is it beneficial to have a membership? And you can look back at lesson 5.1 on how to solve this. We've set it up, but lesson 5.1 will explain how to solve it. Let's clean that up. There we go. Okay. So now let's take a look at number 12. So let's take a look at number 12. Okay. The length of a sand volleyball court is twice its width. The perimeter is 180 feet. Find the length and width of the sand volleyball court. So number 12 is telling us the length is equal, let's make this a cursive L so it looks like an L. The length is equal to 2 times the width. And then the perimeter, we know that perimeter is 2 lengths plus 2 widths is equal to 180. Now, where did I get this from? Well, let's take a look. We have a rectangle. The perimeter is the outside of the rectangle. So this is a length, a width, a length, and a width. So the outside, the perimeter, is equal to length plus width plus length plus width. Okay? So that's what we've got here. The 2 lengths plus the 2 widths is equal to 180 perimeter. So here, since they're referencing lesson 5.2, I'm assuming they probably want you to use substitution. So you're going to want to substitute this 2W for this length right here. Okay, I'm not going to solve this one for you. I just wanted to help you set it up. So we have set up 10 and 12. You need to solve them, and then you need to work on 11 and 13.